Do you go?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Duduzile Kupega. I'm conducting the lesson for Mathematical Literacy Grade 12. So from yesterday, we did area and circumference of the circle and other shapes. Today, like I mentioned yesterday, we'll be doing the weight measurements. So we'll be doing weight conversions and measurements. I'm trying to move to the next slide. We'll be, at the end of the lesson, we should be able to convert factors for weight. You should be able to know the conversion factors for weight. We'll be measuring weight, calculating weight, and do calculations of cost and weight. Then, these are the conversion factors for weight. As probably you know, when you go buy your maize meal or your rice, you buy it in kilograms or in grams. And then when we measure smaller objects or smaller packs of things, they'd be measured in grams, like you'd buy 500 grams of sugar, and then the bigger they get, maybe for bricks that are going to be used to build a school, they'll be weighed in tons. So the milligrams are for very, very small objects, like maybe grains of sand, few grains of sand. And then the grams are for smaller, it's larger than milligrams, so would be weighing, like I mentioned, probably sugar or rice. Then we move on to kilograms. That's the weight most people, when you weigh a person, a grown adult would measure them in kilograms. And then it's tons, like I said, it would be bricks that would be used to build a school. So these are the conversion factors. So the difference between a milligram and a gram, it's 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So to move, and then 1,000 grams equals to 1 gram, and then 1,000 kilograms equals to 1 ton. So the different factor between all of them is 1,000. So that means if you were to move between these different values, you'd either be multiplying by 1,000 or divide by 1,000. To move from a milligram to a gram, you would divide by 1,000, because if you were to put it in ratios, milligrams to grams is 1,000 to 1. So that's how you'd put it in ratios. And that's why the conversion factors is 1,000. So to move from milligrams to grams, you divide by 1,000. But to move from grams to milligrams, you would multiply by 1,000. The same applies when you move between grams and kilograms, or when you move between kilograms and tons. From kilograms to tons, you divide by 1,000. From tons to kilograms, you multiply by 1,000. So you should always have the 1,000 to 1 ratio whenever you're working with these ones in the different rows. And then the next part of the work, okay, let me respond to your questions. Hi, Chad, nice to meet you. Okay, and then we'll do activities, different activities. Because you're in grade 12, I really decided to choose mostly from past papers, because they would help you get used to how questions are asked in your exams. So it helps when we apply the theory that we are learning, then you apply it to the types of questions you usually get in your exams. I think that will help you get used to how questions are asked, and then you'd be more confident when you write. So question 1. Okay, the statement is you should never carry more than 50% of your weight. Elias weighs 66 kilograms and his backpack with school books weighs 12 kilograms. Elizabeth weighs 72 kilograms and her school bag with school books weighs 8 kilograms. Question 1, we need to determine 15% of Elias's weight. And then we need to answer, is his bag too heavy for him? How are we determining that? Firstly, the first statement tells us there that we should never carry more than 50% of your body weight. When we are given the weight of Elias and the weight of his backpack. So now what will we do? Because we need to determine 15% of that weight. So we take down Elias's weight, which is 66, multiply by 15%. 15% when you write it out in fraction form is 15 divided by 100. Thereby 66 multiplied by 15 divided by 100 is equals to 9.9 kilograms. So 9.9 kilograms is 15% of Elias's weight. Then we need to determine now the size of his backpack. They are telling us it weighs 12 kilograms. So 12 kilograms is larger or it's greater than the size of his back, this 15% of his weight. Because 15% of his weight is 9.9 kilograms, that means when he's carrying the backpack, which weighs 12 kilograms, he is carrying a bag that is too heavy for him. Understood? Then we've answered the question. The bag is too heavy for him because it weighs more than 9.9 kilograms, which is more than 15% of his weight. So this was a calculation where you incorporated weight and you also incorporated calculations of percentages. Then, second question is, we need to determine 15% of Elizabeth's weight. Is her bag too heavy for her? Then we go on the same way we answered the question about Elias, we answer about Elizabeth. Elizabeth's weight is 72 kilograms. 72 multiplied by 15% is equals to 10.8 kilograms. 10.8 kilograms is bigger than 8 kilograms. So the 15%, so her bag is only 8 kilograms, which is less than 15% of her body weight. So that means the bag is not too heavy for her because it weighs less than 15% of her body weight. So now, how we answered this question, if you look at how it is phrased, they are telling us there are 2 points. Point 1, determine 15% of the weight, and point 2, they are asking if the bag is too heavy. So there are 2 parts to answering the question, and we must be careful to answer both of them. We've determined the percentage, the 15% of the body weight, so that's the half a mark. And then the other half a mark is when we respond to whether the bag is too heavy or not. So you cannot leave it at just calculating the 15%. You need to go on again and answer if the bag is too heavy or not based on your calculations. So that's what we did for both questions. Had you done only one part and not the other, then you wouldn't get the full marks for the question. Then question 2, you'll be able to get, I see someone has asked a question there, you'll be able to get these notes. I'll share the hashtags afterwards, but you can also go get more information on Africa Teen Gigs. It'll also be posted on the DBE website, and it'll also be posted on the YouTube and Facebook pages for Africa Teen Gig. So after this, you can be able to access them. And then question 2 now, the second question is, a lift in a shopping mall has a notice that indicates that it can carry 2.2 tons or a maximum of 20 people. Convert the tons measurements to kilograms and work out what the engineer who built the lift estimated the average weight of a person to be. So you've seen in lifts, when you go on lifts, usually when we go on lifts, it's usually like maximum of 13 people or so. So that is based on an assumption that the people, or an estimate of the average weight of the people, of those 13 people should be. So right now we will do the calculations and get the answer here. We are converting the tons measurements to kilograms and then working out what the engineer who built the lift estimated the average weight of a person to be. So question 1 there, 2.2 tons. The first statement says what? We must convert tons to kilograms. How do we convert tons to kilograms? We just worked that out in the previous page. The very first slide, I was showing you how we do conversions, right? So now we are doing the conversions. 1,000 kilograms is equals to 1 ton. Those are standard values. So you should always know your standard values. Sometimes they give you in a question paper, sometimes they don't. But this is something you should always know, just the standard values. 1,000 kilograms is equals to 1 ton. So the trick here, especially with weight conversion, is to always remember the difference between the two closest ones is always 1,000, a ratio of 1,000 to 1. Like this one, 1,000 kilograms is equals to 1 ton. Now, to move from kilograms to tons, you divide by 1,000. And to move from tons to kilograms, you multiply by 1,000. In this case, we are moving from tons to kilograms. So what will we do? There are two ways of doing this, like I've just mentioned. You can take the 2.2 ton, multiply by 1,000, and then you get your answer. In case for some reason you have forgotten whether you should divide or multiply, and I hope you never do forget, but just in case you forget if you should multiply or divide, maybe you're confused about whether you are multiplying or dividing, here's what you should do. We are given what? 2.2 ton. You write your 2.2 ton is equals to, we are looking for the number of kilograms that are equals to 2.2 tons. So I'll put that as X because we don't have our value as yet. So it's X kilograms. Underneath the ton, underneath there, you write the standard numbers, the standard values, the conversion factors. We know that 1 ton is equals to 1,000 kilograms. But how you write this is you make sure you write your tons below the 2.2 ton there. You write the value for 1T below the value of the ton above there. And then the kilograms, again, you write the 1,000 kilograms below that X kilograms. So tons should be one side, kilograms should be one side. Then from there, you will cross multiply, like I'm showing you here. X multiplied by the 1, X multiplied by 1 equals to the 2.2 multiplied by 1,000. So you'll have 2.2 multiplied by 1,000. Then you work out your X value, you're solving for X, which is going to be 2,200 kilograms. Now, I need you to understand, this is not, this step, you don't need to go all this way to this step. It's only if you have forgotten or you are not sure if you should multiply or divide. It will always work. You write the tons on one side, you write the kilograms on one side, you do your cross multiplications, you solve for X. Then you find your value in kilograms. But if you understand the conversion factors and you're not confused about whether you're dividing or multiplying, then you can just go straight to saying 2.2 multiplied by 1,000 and you have your value for kilograms, which is 2,200 kilograms. And then now, what is the second part of the question? We need to work out what the engineer who built the lift estimated the average weight of a person to be. So now we need to work out the second part. We've converted to kilograms. Now we need to work out what the average weight of the person is estimated to be. So you take the total weight there of 2,200 kilograms divided by 20 people, since that's the maximum number of people that are allowed to be on the lift at a time. Then you've got what? 110 kilograms each. So the estimation there is that in this lift, there can only be a maximum of 20 people who weigh about 110 kilograms each. There shouldn't be any more than that. So if people in the lift are all 110 kilograms, then they can be on the lift and there should be 20 of them. But if others, probably 10 of those are 110 kilograms and 10 of those are way more than that, then it cannot carry the 20. The maximum kilograms the lift can carry is 2,200 kilograms. So obviously people will have different weights. That's why it's only an estimated or an average weight. But the maximum weight the lift can carry is 2,200 kilograms. Then on to question 2, which is B. A long distance bus seats 50 passengers and allows each passenger to each have luggage of up to 30 kilograms. 1. If 50 people with average weight of 80 kilograms per person each have one piece of luggage that weighs an average of 29 kilograms, what would be the total load carried by the bus in tons? Again, we work out this. Number one, part A, we take the 50, which is 50 people, multiply by the average weight per person, which is 80 kilograms. So it means one person would probably be 80 kilograms. Then now we have 50 people who are averaging at 80 kilograms each. So that's why we have 50 multiplied by 80 kilograms. So on that side, on the left side, on the first bracket would have the answer for the average weight of the total people in the bus. The second bracket would have the total weight of the bags carried by those 50 people. That is why it is 50 multiplied by 9, because we are estimating that all those 50 people have bags that weigh an average of 29 kilograms. Then we've got our answer, 4,000 kilograms plus 1,450 kilograms. Then you have your final answer, which is 5,450 kilograms. The second part of the question is, we need to convert this weight in tons. They said, what would be the total load carried by the bus in tons? So us getting the answer in kilograms, we haven't even begun to answer the question. They want the answer in tons. Again, we are converting. Now we are converting from kilograms to tons. So I won't go through the very steps again, but we've learned what? When we move from kilograms to tons, we will divide. If we move from tons to kilograms, you multiply. In this case, we are moving from kilograms to tons. So we will divide that 5,450 divide by 1,000. Then you would get your answer, which is 5.45 tons. At the top here, I've shown you how you do the cross multiplication again, should you ever find yourself confused about whether you should multiply or divide. So that's just to show you how we got to the answer. But here, if you really understand, if you divide or multiply, just go straight to it. 5,450 divided by 1,000, you get your answer in tons. Then we move on to the next slide. Okay, let me respond to some of the questions here before I move on. Hey, Rem, I doubt you know me, but let's move on. Question 2, if the bus weighs 4 tons, how much does it weigh in total, including all the passengers and the luggage? So right now, we will do what? We will incorporating the weight of the bus plus the weight of the passengers and the bags. So 4 tons first, what is it there? They want us to answer this in kilograms. So what do? We convert the tons to kilograms. From tons to kilograms, we multiply by 1,000. 4 multiplied by 1,000 is equals to 4,000 kilograms. Then you add the question we just answered in number 1. That's the answer we got there, which is the total weight of the people plus the total weight of the bags. Then plus the weight of the bus. Then that's the total, which is 9,450 kilograms. This is the total weight, which is including the bus and the people and their luggage. Next question, C. Sweet jam can be bought in bulk from a warehouse in boxes that contain 25 tins of 250 grams each. Number 1, we calculate the total weight of the jam in each box in kilograms. So 2 parts to the question. We're calculating the total weight of the jam, and then we need to get that final answer to be in kilograms. First part there, what do? We have how many tins? We have 25 tins, which each weigh 250 grams. So it's going to be the 250 grams multiplied by 25. Then you've got 6,250 grams. From there, we convert from grams to kilograms. Moving from grams to kilograms, we divide by 1,000. But if you were to move from kilograms to grams, you multiply by 1,000. So it's going to be 6,250 divided by 1,000, which is equal to 6.25 kilograms. Question 2, If a trader orders 15 boxes of sweet jam, calculate the total weight of his order in kilograms. So we've just calculated the total weight of the jam in each box there, which is 6.25 kilograms. We multiply that by the 15 boxes that are ordered, which is going to be 93.75 kilograms. Here we don't need to convert because they want the answer in kilograms and we have our answer in kilograms already. I hope that's okay. Can I move on? Okay, Bonnie, I'll. I don't know. I don't know if the question will be in the exam, but they ask similar questions. I got these questions from past exam papers. That's why I'm doing these types of questions for you. And then, yes, this work is with the memo. They will be uploaded where I said they'll be uploaded. I'll say that again before the end of the lesson. And then next question. This is, I think it was the 2018 past paper. The photograph below shows an electronic kitchen scale in grams with 3 fruits placed on the scale. So this is the scale. The same scale where they are weighing the mass of the fruit. So it's the same scale. It's usually, it's a similar scale where people use to weigh the bags or weigh themselves. Ne? So now we have what on the scale? We have the plum, we have the pear, we have the peach. The total weight of these 3 fruit together on the scale is 394. Then we are told the mass of the pear is 128 grams. And then the mass of the plum is half the mass of the pear. The note there, again, they're giving you the conversion factor, like you this time, they're giving it to you. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. That you should have known already before the question, right? Before the exam. Then we use the photograph and information to answer the questions that follow. 1.3.1, convert the total mass of the fruit into kilograms. Where is the total mass? The total mass is written there to be 394 because that's what a measuring scale does. It shows you the mass of whatever is on top of the scale. This time it's the 3 fruit and it's showing us when the 3 fruit are placed together on the scale, their mass is 394 grams. They told us there, if you should always read your question carefully so that you understand your conversion factors, so that you understand the units they are in. They've given us to be in grams, so you know that's your answer in grams, 394 grams. Then we need to convert that to kilograms as the question is asking. Moving from grams to kilograms, what do? We divide by 1,000. 394 divided by 1,000 is equal to 0.394 kilograms. There, we found our answer in kilograms. If you want to understand that long method I showed you where you cross multiply, you look at the previous slides as soon as they're uploaded so you can familiarize yourself with those calculations. Then question 2, the pear is removed from the kitchen scale. Write down the new reading in grams shown on the kitchen scale. So this is the kitchen scale, 394 grams. They remove the pear. What do you know of the pear? The pear is 128 grams. So what do we have here? We have the pear, peach, plum is equal to 394. That's the original one. Then from this 394 grams, subtract the pear. We remove the pear. The weight of the pear is 128 grams. So it's just the additions and subtractions here. 394 grams minus 128 grams, it's 266 grams. So if you remove the pear, you're left with 266 grams on the scale. Question 3. Show how the mass of 202 grams for the peach was calculated. Now you'll notice here we're given the weight of the pear. We are not given the weight of the peach, but we are given the weight of the plum. So it's pear, peach, and plum is equal to 394 grams. We were given the weight of the pear, the mass of the pear to be 128 grams. Plus for peach, because I don't know yet what the value for peach is, we write X. plus plum. They told us there on the diagram that the mass of the plum is half the mass of the pear. So to find a half of any number, you divide that number by 2. So we find that, and that's how we find half of any number. Take the 128, divide by 2, we'll be able to find the mass of the plum. So we have 128 grams for the pear plus X for the peach plus 64 for the plum is equals to 394 grams. Then the 394, subtract the weight of the pear and the weight of the plum, then you are left with 202, which is our X. The X was for the peach. So that's how it was worked out. That's how it was calculated. This is how you can calculate it to find the weight of the peach. Next question. Determine the probability of randomly selecting a banana from the fruit placed on the kitchen scale. Now, let's again, this is they are testing you here. They really just want to test if you're paying attention to your work. Look at your kitchen scale. Is there a banana on the kitchen scale? No, there's no banana. Okay, someone said 266. Should I go back to that slide? That was for question 2, 266 if you subtract the weight of the pear from the total. Then the weight of the peach is 202. I hope that's what you were discussing. Okay, now, this question we're dealing with now, they want to know the probability of randomly selecting a banana from the fruit. In your house right now, what is the probability of finding a school in your bedroom? Think about that. What is the probability of finding a hotel if you open the cupboard? That's literally what the question is asking. What is the probability of finding those things? Absolutely zero. Why? It's zero because there's no school in your bedroom. There's no hotel in your cupboard. It's not there. Even on this kitchen scale, there's no banana on the kitchen scale. So the probability for that is zero. So right here, these are just free marks for you. So pay attention always to your questions, ne? Maybe you'd be confused and think one because there's one of each fruit until you read exactly which fruit they're asking about. So always pay attention. So you can either write it as 0% or you'll write 0/3. Either way, you get your marks. And then question 5, write down the simplified ratio of the total mass of fruit to the total mass of the pear. Here we are doing ratios. What's important to note about ratios is this. You always write it in the order they tell you in. Right now they are telling us the total mass of the fruit to the total mass of the pear. In that order, left to right. You cannot simply decide to write the ratio of the pear first and then the ratio of the fruit first. No, we write fruit to pear because that's important. That will count towards your marks. Should you write it the other way around, you'd get less marks than you were supposed to get. You could even probably write the correct numbers and correct answer, but because the ratio is different, then it would be wrong. That's why now I've written here 394 is to 128 grams. On the left, it's the total mass of the fruit, and on the right is the weight, it's the mass of the pear. Now, what did they ask us to do? We need to write down the simplified ratio. To simplify this ratio, you divide with the lowest common multiple. So it's either you work out the lowest common multiple on the side, or you just start with the very lowest number you can find. If we're to divide this by 1, whatever is divided by 1, you'd still get that number. 1,000 divided by 1, you get 1,000. 1,000,000 divided by 1, you get 1,000,000. So it would be useless to use the 1. So start from 2. Then 394 divided by 2, 128 divided by 2. That lowest common multiple is a number that is divisible to both of the numbers you have. That's why it is called common. It is common to both of them. And that is why I've chosen to do the 2. And then the answer is 197 is to 64. Beyond this, there was no other number that is divisible to the both of them without leaving a remainder. That's why I've done it like this. If you do it like this, you get all your full marks. Do it any other way, you might get 1 mark less or half a mark less. Then the next step we are doing, okay, Bongi is asking why we can't divide by 394. Let's go back to that question. The reason we can't divide by 394, Bongi, is because 394 will be divisible to the 394. So 394 divided by 394, you'd get 1. But what would happen if you say 128 divided by 394? You'd get an uncommon answer or a number with remainders there. And that's not what we are looking for. We need to divide it or simplify it in a way where we still have whole numbers in place. That's why it is advised you divide with the lowest common multiple. I'm sorry, I left that page. You need to divide with the lowest common multiple. I hope you understand. It is this, for the same reason we couldn't divide by 128 for both of them, because it wouldn't give us a final answer of a whole number. So work out the lowest common multiple, then you divide by that lowest common multiple and you get your answer. I hope I've answered your question, Bongi. Do you understand? Yes, okay, Bongi is cool. We can move on. Karabo, I can't move on. I will make sure I upload the slides on YouTube and Facebook so that you'll get to go through them again. Because right now, a lot of people have moved on. I'm so sorry, Karabo. Okay, next one now, it's cost and weight. These are everyday applications. When you go buy milk or when you go buy rice, it would cost you 2 kg would cost you a certain amount, 5 kg would cost you a certain amount. So this helps you, especially with the grocery shopping as well. Ne? So now, cost and weight. A chef is preparing a meal that needs 3.75 kilograms of rice and 1.5 kilograms of beef. This recipe will feed 8 people. So 3.75 kilograms of rice and 1.5 kilograms of beef will feed 8 people. Question 1. Rice is sold in packets of 2 kilograms. How many packets will he need for the meal? What does he need? 1 packet is required, and 1 package is equal to 2 kilograms, right? That's how the rice is sold in this scenario. 1 packet is 2 kilograms. We require 3.75 kilograms. 1.75. So that means we need 1.75 extra than more than the 2 kilograms we can find. So we actually need what? 2 packets for the meal. We need 2 packets of rice, but we won't use the whole 2 packets. We'll only use the required 3.75 kilograms, which means there'll be a leftover of 0.25 kilograms of rice. I did not need to go through all these steps, and you do not need to go through all these steps in the exam. I was just doing it for the purposes of you understanding how we got to the answer. That's how I worked it out. As you can see, the mark allocation is 1. So you could have just really worked out that if 1 packet is 2 kilograms and you need 3.75, you need to get 2 packets of rice. That would have still been okay. You get your answer and you get correct. But now I was showing you all these steps so that you understand how we get to the answer. And that's what's important about the learning process. When you do your homework, when you do your activities, do all the steps as required, because it will help you understand the work better. So that in the exam, when you write, it's easy. You are used to this and you understand how you go about getting the answer. So the answer there, 2 packets, that's your answer. Question 2, if rice costs 31 rands 50 per 2 kilogram packet, calculate the total cost of the rice he will need. So we've already worked out that we need two packs of rice. Ne? 2 packs of rice are needed. But what do we know? We know that 1 pack costs 31 rands 50. So the 4 kilograms pack, which is actually 2 packets of rice, It will be what? 31 rands 50 multiplied by 2 is equal to 63 rands. So that's the total cost for the rice. So when you go to buy the rice, you will spend 63 rands to buy the 2 packets. Question 3. If beef costs 41 rands 75 per kilogram, calculate the total cost of the beef needed for the meal. How much do we need of the beef? We need 1.5 kilograms of beef. And we are told here that the beef costs 41 rand 75 per kilogram. So we do this, multiply 1.5 kilograms multiplied by 41 rand 75. Then you get your answer to be 62 rands 0.625 cents. We round that off to 2 decimal places. Why did I round off to 2 decimal places? All our questions so far, most of them there, the prices there, the rands, the 31 rands 50, 41 rands 75. It's in 2 decimal places, and that's why my final answer for the cost is also in decimal places. It's 2 decimals, man. Then question 4, calculate the total cost of the rice and the beef. We've worked out these calculations. 63 rands for the rice, which we worked out in question 2, and then 62 rands, 0.63 cents for the beef, which we worked out in question 3. Then the total cost is 125 rands, 63 cents. What's the important thing about this question is you can see if you got question 1 wrong, the rest of your answers are going to be wrong. So it is very important to pay attention once again. Usually most people fail maths not because so bad, they find themselves failing and not knowing why. So it's important to always read. Okay, the beef cost, they're saying to us 41 rand 75 per kilogram. So we have what? We require 1.5 kilograms of beef. That's why we said 1.5 kilograms multiplied by that 41 rand 75 and you get the total cost for the beef. That's how we worked it out. Yeah? Next slide. I can see we don't have a lot of time left, so I'll rush to finish through this. Kutela School has 2 soccer fields. The grass needs to be covered with fertilizer. A 30 kilograms bag of fertilizer costs 42 rands 60. The school needs to buy 96 bags. A, how much will they pay for the fertilizer? What do we know? We know the number of bags required, which is 96 bags. And we know the price, which is the price for each bag is 42 rands 60. So 96 multiplied by 42 rands 60 is equals to 4,089 and 60 cents. 4,089 rands and 60 cents. That's the total cost. How much? That's the total cost of the fertilizer when they buy the 96 bags. Question 2, how many kilograms of fertilizer will they buy in total? Oh, there you work it out as number of bags multiplied by the weight of 1 bag. Similar to the question where we were calculating the mass of the people plus the luggage they're carrying. It's the same concept, it's just that now it incorporates price. So we've got 96 bags multiplied by 30 kilograms. So the total weight of the fertilizer is 2,880 kilograms. Ne? Okay, that's that. I think this is the last slide if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's not. I don't think I'll be able to go through this last slide, guys. So it will be your question for the day. Let me leave this with you. This question, answer it to me through the hashtags we provided, lockdown, e-school. Yes, there's the lesson again tomorrow. We'll have it same time tomorrow. We'll share the links again on Facebook. But please do this question, this one on the slide right now. Surely it would be uploaded again. Do this question on the slide, and then tomorrow, before we continue with tomorrow's lesson, we'll answer these questions together. We'll do the memo of these questions. Please, I know there's a memo here. Please don't look at that and just be honest and focus on the questions and try to answer them yourselves to see if you can understand. And then for those who are not understanding question 3, again, I'll try and explain it further again tomorrow. But now, is there anyone who wants to ask anything else before I move on? This question on the slide right now is your homework. Okay, the hashtag, yeah, the wait, before we go to the hashtag, the lesson from this, after all the calculations we did, please check, this is literally the lesson for all the conversions we've been doing this week. You check the units of measurement always before getting on with your answer, and you convert when necessary. Pay attention to the mark allocation. Break down your answers step by step. Also, you see when we do the conversion factors of 1,000, we multiply by 1,000 or you divide by 1,000. Don't just memorize that. Understand why we are doing it like that so that you won't get confused in your exams and in your tests. So just memorizing that you write your kilograms on the left and your grams on the right, and then you multiply or divide, it will confuse you. Should you be, now you are panicking in an exam, and then now you have to multiply or divide, then you easier going forward. Then next week, finance. When you respond to the hashtags or when you comment on the social media videos, tell me the topics you want us to focus on, then I'll prepare those for the next lessons. Ne? Then these are other helpful links. The grade 12 mathematical literacy app. You'll download it on your app stores. We have the Sia Vula mathematical literacy textbook. There's one for grade 10s. It's great for basics. Go to that, check out the basics, they will help you. And then there's the Via Africa Mathematical Literacy Grade 12. It's also found online. And the hashtag, the following lesson will do volume calculations. But before that, we'll do this question that is a homework to you guys. And then we'll also do that question 3, which many people were confused by. Then these are the hashtags that I told you about. Respond to these hashtags, but mostly please also use the hashtag MathsLead Grade 12 so that I understand questions directly related to this subject. Or you can respond to the videos that are uploaded online so that I can be able to explain further. Tell me your topics that you want to engage on next time. Bongi told me she wants finance. So you can also suggest me topics next week. Those topics, they are more helpful to you. That's it for today. Thank you so much. And please respond on social media, guys. Okay, and the box whisker diagram from Christina, I'll note that as well, and I'll prepare those lessons. I'll go back to that slide so that you can copy the questions, or just take a screenshot of that. Ne? Are you a teacher, Kuselo? That's the question. Please copy it down and then provide answers on social media. It's so nice to have teachers here. Thank you very much, teachers. I'm sure the learners miss you so much.